welcome to this special edition of Trader Talk TV coming from Cannes. Today we've Matt from Millennial. Matt, thanks for coming in.
Hey, thrilled to be here. Look at this.
That's great, isn't it? Matt, just give us an overview of what you do, and today we want to talk about, obviously, the transition you guys have made from the sort of media business to programmatic and sort of what effect that's had on the industry as a whole, and particularly Cannes as well. So before we do that, let's have a quick overview of what you do at Millennial.
So I run the platform business here. I'm the president of the platform business, and for us that means our supply side asset. We work with 65,000 sites and apps, and we work with hundreds of programmatic buyers, and so we operate a marketplace here to connect buyers and sellers.
Okay, so I mean, when Millennial started off as a company, it was very much focused around media. It was managed service, we'd say a traditional ad network model. But you've built technology and you're transitioning that company to sort of a programmatic basis as well. Let's talk about sort of how you've done that and how, sort of like the journey you've gone on and how you're actually making that work.
We've been in mobile since pretty much day one, since there was a mobile media business. So 2006 is when we started. We've always been incredibly deep and strong on the supply side. And like I said, 65,000 sites and apps are using our technology to monetize. And so the journey started back in 2006. And it's evolved, and our company has evolved. And really what it is, it's about giving our customers flexibility in how they want to buy. And so we have a very strong managed side of the business, which operates globally. And most recently, we acquired a company called NextAge to serve as the foundation and the backbone for our programmatic technology to allow advertisers to bring their dollars on programmatically to our platform.
Let's talk about, obviously, the mobile space. I mean, it's been a bit of a pain point for a lot of publishers in terms of like revenue and CPMs, etc. Has programmatic, or has the sort of transition to programmatic helped those publishers to see better yield from their inventory? Or are we seeing now publishers seeing them increase the revenue to get from from where they were a couple of years ago, which was basically bottom of the barrel stuff?
Yeah, I think programmatic really just gives controls into the hands of publishers. Allows them, in many ways, mobile. I think one of the unique ways that mobile is different is there's a lot of folks that are living and breathing mobile businesses that don't really have a sales force. And so,
this is specifically about like the app developers,
the app economy. We call it. And so these guys don't have a business team, and so we kind of serve as that outsourced business team. We give them the tools and the technology to be able to, maximize the yield and the monetization opportunity for them.
But it's not. I mean, it's interesting you mentioned the app versus web. I mean, like we're seeing new companies, as you say, new media businesses pop up, which in many ways are just kind of utility apps, a weather app or a flashlight or whatever it is. But these guys have massive scale. They don't have any sort of content team, but they create a utility and your service. But is there a clear definition? Those guys actually, because their cost base is low in terms of creating, content for users, if you can call it content, versus a traditional media company, is the app at war? Is that where all the money is going, or are we seeing more money going into mobile web as well?
Well, I think really what it comes down to for advertisers is they want to reach an audience, they want to have an engagement. I think the breadth of apps and mobile websites that we work with are all opportunities for those engagements. So I wouldn't say that necessarily that it's everything's focused on apps or everything's focused on mobile web. It really depends on what kind of engagement you want. So if you want to run a video ad and reach a certain audience, the best way to do that might be in Words with Friends. Or if you're looking to deliver a rich media campaign, it might be in a utility app or a weather app. But it's really about finding that audience and engaging with the audience.
And in terms of sort of the sweet spots for mobile at the minute, we've seen a lot talk about mobile video, particularly. Like I've heard talk to a number of agencies, and they're saying this is where we think that the rubber hits the road for the mobile video space. Do you see that as a big growth area for you guys particularly? Are you seeing a lot of sort of interest in that?
Video is massive. I think sometimes we in this business all forget that we are consumers as well. Usage and behavior habits are changing, obviously. Mobile is kind of the center of your world from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed. And I think people are consuming a lot of video content now on mobile devices. And so I think you're seeing video as a medium on mobile phones dramatically increase. And demand for those units are obviously going through the roof.
And what about native? I mean, we've seen, contextual-based advertising on mobile, like the sort of look and feel. It doesn't feel like advertising. The Twitters, the Facebooks, you know, the Google searches of the world. Is that now the way we will head in terms of like the MPU or the 320 with 50 pixel banner will sort of be kind of put to the wayside, and we'll have more of this kind of instinctive native content?
Yeah, you know, I think the banner has been a delightful piece of our repertoire for some time now. But I think really, you know, our native product launches very soon. We're launching our new SDK, SDK 6.0. And in this SDK, it really gives the controls to our publishers to allow them to create these native formats. I think that native, you know, when delivered in the right means, in the right manner, it's awesome. I mean, I think and when you think about content creators, for the most part, if you asked a content creator, let's just say a video game company, you know, would you like to put ads in your applications or in your games? They'd probably say, you know, not really, because I'm not sure how it you know, kind of plays with the mechanics and the user experience of the game. But when you take native as a format, it really gives flexibility to the content creators and lets them kind of more organically create new monetization vehicles, because quite frankly, users don't always want to pay for content. So I think when you take native ads, it gives a new monetization opportunity for content creators.
This week we've seen Google come out with a cross-device solution. I mean, it seems to be still a pain point for the independent ad tech space, the independent media space. Outside of Facebook and Google, there's no obvious deterministic options. I mean, how does a company like Millennial work with the buy-side, sell-side, and the publishers themselves and the buyers to create some kind of a cross-platform currency that will allow us to compete with the big two?
Yeah, we work with you know, thousands of publishers, and these publishers all have user data. And so we work with them and partner with them to bring their user data onto mobile and to help us match users across multiple devices. And so, you know, we've got you know, over 100 million matches that allow us to do this cross-device deterministic matching. And so I think the unique part is there's Facebook and there's Google, but at Millennial Media, we are connecting thousands of app developers with tens of thousands of sites, and we get to see usage behavior across multiple different applications, not just a single app.
Yeah.
So.
And do you see that's more of the probabilistic stuff? Is that, I mean, will that actually become the sort of the currency for what we do? Like, so versus what the others have, and will it work?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can work in both directions, but I think we've chosen a probabilistic direction.
Yeah.
And you know, I think it seems to work. I think. If I told you you can reach this exact user, you'd probably rather reach this exact user than a coin toss as to who you might reach. So. Yeah.
And let's talk about Cannes. And obviously, we're sitting in the harbour of Cannes here, and we've got the Palais next to us. But how do you think that you know, companies like yourselves and various ad tech companies up and down this sort of harbour are changing the way that the way the creators would think? And the two worlds coming together, they're coalescing, or is it kind of we're still outside the base camp effectively?
You know, I can't think of a better. This is my first time at
mine
Cannes,
too.
Really, okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the environment here for relationship building, for deal making, is phenomenal, and you know, I think it's just what better place to be for a week than this. I mean, I really can't think of any better place on the planet where I would rather be right now.
In fairness, I did think to myself, like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, but to your point, there seems to be a lot of senior people walk around, CEO of agencies, CEO of media companies, CEO of brands. I mean, the CMOs of brands. It seems to be a good place to sort of do a lot of that networking.
You know, we go to all of the major shows, whether it's CES or Mexico or whatnot. And I think this one is just different. It's not pretentious. And it's
you say it's not pretentious.
Well, there's big yachts, but you know what? The egos are all checked at the door, and it just seems like
it does seem like a leveling off. Like everybody just kind of chills out, no matter where they are in the ecosystem or in the food chain, effectively.
Yeah. So. You know, I think it's just the environment is just phenomenal for doing business.
So the final word is come to Cannes next year. It's a lot of fun.
I absolutely think everyone should put it on your calendar for next year.
All right, Matt.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.
All
and great chatting today. And that was Trade Talk TV from Cannes, and we'll see you next time.